happy gear and beer. It is Wednesday, my dudes. How's it going, Evan? How's it going, Andy? What is up? Good to see our friends here. Terry, how's it going, man? Good to see you. I feel like I've seen you in a few streams now, Terry, but I just saw your videos with your cab. Saw that you picked up a 412. How are you liking it, man? I saw you did a Mesa shootout there. I love Mesa cabs, so I'd love to hear what you thought of that. Yeah, with the Rev versus the Mesa. One and only Brian Lewis is here. What's up, Brian? How's it going? What's up, Dave? Johnny? Nice jugs. Yeah, we're talking about it like, man, we could do this nice like D majory type thing, and then Brad's playing all these nice chords. It's like, then we could just, you know, just chug it up on a Wednesday. Yeah. Hey, Revs, what's up, George? Watching during my lunch break. Nice, man. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad that we could accompany you on your valuable lunch breaks. I know that you know what? I don't feel like I like obviously value my breaks, but around here I don't get too bent out of shape if I don't get one. You know,
it's that energy, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's good vibes all around. I'm here with Brad tonight, and Bo's here as well. Actually,
what's up, everybody?
Yeah, everyone's here. We wanted to have Brad on the stream since we did the country one, and obviously, you know, you're very well versed in that. But you are also wow. I just tried to talk. Also, we were just jamming on like some early 2000s metalcore riffs. So like you definitely grew up on that stuff too. And now that you like we've made like the kill switch reference, your vibrato makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Like this the super wide like pinch harmonics and vibrato and stuff. Like,
man,
did you have I don't know if anyone else on here is Kill Switch Engage fans, but I like religiously watched the DVD, this World Ablaze DVD.
The World Ablaze.
Yeah, where they had like the documentary and it was like about the band. Like at the time, I was like, man, this literally just makes me want to be in a band so bad and just like do this because they're just like the best time and they're all such good buddies and the performance from that DVD is amazing.
It was outrageous.
I think Adam D mixed it all in post, so obviously it's gonna sound great. But yeah. We actually got to play. This is like I don't know, like I know like a handful of like legendary venues, but like I remember the first like we got to play the Worcester Palladium where they shot that.
Oh, really?
And I like recognized the building because I watched that probably like more than 100 times.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, this is cool. It's the first time I was like in a venue where it's like this is sick to be.
Of course,
playing. Even though it's like I think the Palladium's a pretty legendary venue, but have you ever played a spot like that? You're just like, man, this is sick. Like,
Winnipeg for sure.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, it just seems to be another, not the sound, big headed, but it's just another venue type thing. I don't know.
No, totally, and that's what I mean, and that's what I was saying. Is like I generally don't get that about venues because like when you're touring and you play lots of cool places. And like, I feel like with arenas where, like I haven't played. You probably played more arenas than I have. I've done a lot of the teching there, but like the shows definitely blend together a lot because it's like in an arena it's the same plot.
Yeah.
All the time, whereas like there's not a lot of like uniqueness there. It's like it's like there's some legendary arenas, but like they're all like, you know, if you're on a tour like that, it's like the same setup literally every night. Mm-hmm. So there's not a lot of uniqueness, but
same view.
Yeah, lots of cool club shows though.
I find those shows are like the club stuff and the smaller stuff.
Yeah,
it's more nerve wracking, but it's more personal, and it's like I feel you can connect.
Yeah,
way better.
Totally, and I feel like depending on the show. Sometimes that's like what your soul needs a little more. Just like those shows to like connect with the people that are there. And, yeah. Cliff, how's it going, man? With Chugs, yeah. Cliff, got your amp rocking. I'll keep you updated on that as we go. Tyler, how is it going, man? All of our friends are here. Tanner, what's up? Brian, first show I ever went to was KSE in 06. Oh, nice. Broke your foot in the pit. That's not nice. But dude, 06 would have been like. Was End of Heartache 2004 or 6? I think 2006 might have been as Daylight Dies.
I think 2004 was End of Heartache.
I remember because Daylight Dies would have been 2006, which is grade 9. I remember that. The album came out in grade 9, and I had my iPod Shuffle.
Oh, man, yes.
That I would put it on.
Skip the Find Kill Switch. You're like,
yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, exactly. It was like one of the small ones where like it didn't even have the screen, so like
like the Nano or something.
Yeah, no, yeah, the Nano, yeah.
It was. It's just like a little square thing you clip on your shirt or something. It was like your iPod.
Yeah. Exactly. That dates that. And it's like,
That dates you.
I remember
dude.
too though. I remember you also could like, because of everything. It was before Apple was like proprietary, like with formats, and like you could put WAV files on some of them, but it would just take up so much space. So it was like whatever album I was currently obsessed with, I would just put that on in WAV because like my dad like was always like, "Sounds so much better. You need to listen to this." So he'd like convert all my songs to WAV files.
Oh really? Eh?
And put them on the thing. Yeah, it's funny. Dang, PRS and Gibson Les Paul, mean business. Yeah, man. Well, you know what? I will say I'm not usually a Les Paul guy, but Dorian brought this in. It has the Evertune on it, and it's set up. I sound like a total ignorant person, but I didn't know that you could set up the Evertunes to still have some sort of flex.
Let it play.
But it just goes back to the same pitch.
Yeah.
And yeah, like just the amount that you can wail on this thing, and it won't waver at all. Like it's just so consistent.
It's a different kind of like feeling on your hands. It's weird. Like you can like really bang into it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You're going to be safe.
Like now that I've spent, a bit of time with this, I feel like tracking guitar. Like I was working on a new demo video with this, and like finished probably twice as fast as usual because I'm not tuning, and it's like, man, I don't know how I'm going to go back to not 100%. Tracking rhythm guitars with this now. Dorian, you sure was pretty. I'm sure he's never heard that joke ever, did. That's funny. Dorian is our in-house media guy. So he does a lot of our graphic design. He does all of our video and audio work in-house as well. But he has a lot of him and Derek are both big Les Paul fans, and Dorian's got a couple cool like early '90s. He's really into. I forget what year specifically, but like early 91 to 93-ish era. Yeah. I don't know exactly, but yeah, he's got a bunch of them that are real sick. So yeah. How's everyone's week? I like to check in. Anybody got any new gear that they've been playing around with? Smash the like button as well. Obviously, we want to hang out with as many friends as possible here. But yeah, we're going to talk a bit about the G8 today. I mean, we'll talk about a bunch of stuff, but we wanted to do, now that the G8 has been out for a while, a bit of a dive into that. Because now that we've had them out in the wild and gotten a response to them and kind of got feedback and questions about them, we have a little more of an idea of what people are. I mean, obviously it's a gate, but like the setups that people are using them for, questions that people have about them, because there are a couple things that are slightly different than a gate they may be used to, and a lot of questions about the 4-cable method as well. Which is
where it's at.
Yeah, man, and it was I will say, like, you had never really hooked up a gate like that, and you tried it for the first time today. And what was your thought, even for like?
What was my thought?
Yeah, what was your first? I saw your face when you plugged in. You were like, dude, like it's clean. It's like
it's extremely clean. Like
it's when you're playing too.
And it doesn't. I feel that there's like no tone suck. Like it just basically leaves everything the way it is.
Yeah.
But it's just the clarity around it. And I've never heard, like, I have my 740 here tonight.
Yeah. And this is like a very early 740 as well. This is actually a Mark 1. So we do have people asking about the 740s on here a lot too. And this is like, one of the really early ones, man. Like one of the first 25 probably, for even first 15. Yeah. I would imagine. And we just retubed it a couple weeks ago, and it sounded pretty sick.
It was, that also was a kind of a game changer. It's like,
yeah.
My amp sounded awesome before, but it's like when you actually, I made a rookie mistake of not changing my tubes like ever.
I wouldn't say that's a rookie mistake, dude, because like, I will say, like, I've only really changed tubes when they stopped working.
That's like, that's what I thought too, man.
And like you obviously can, but like I'm not, maybe if I was touring and wanting to do it, like my tubes have lasted me in my Mark 1 up until last year.
Right.
And like, I've also had amps in or tubes in like a D20 blow after, a couple weeks. Like it varies, but like, and then, but it definitely reinvigorated the whole amp. Like, and you put some other stuff in it though before we retubed it, right?
I had tongue saw preamps.
Tongue saws.
Yeah, in there. They were definitely a different flavor. Yeah. I did like it. Yeah. I just found they kind of broke up a little too fast and a little brittle.
Yeah, a little stiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember we switched over to the JJs, which we've been using for a while here, and they are super balanced, I found, after going back and forth between. TAD and JJ seem to be a really good balance for what our amps are doing. So
it's kind of part of our
I think so. Yeah. And they're reliable, like in terms of supply and tone, and like,
Yeah.
Like, you know that if you get them, it's going to sound the way you intend them to. And yeah, with the TAD stuff too, where they're all pre-burned in, like they're super great.
Yeah.
So, I know a lot of people think like, oh, are they Chinese? And it's like, well, yeah, but like they're just a China-based company. It's not like, they're building for lots of people. So, Tyler got a KSR 212 cab ordered. Nice, man. And one of the Earthquaker plumes. Is the plumes the drive? That's a drive pedal, right?
It's like, it's a drive, and it's kind of like I wouldn't say a lighter gain, but it's actually an amazing like boost.
Yeah.
You were saying that, Bo?
I was, yeah, sorry.
No.
Who is that?
Just chiming in from the dark
you in
over
the
here.
prompters right there. I'm like, what? You've tried that one?
Yeah, my buddy's got one. It's a great pedal, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a loud drive.
is.
It's a great boost. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I heard it was not like a tube screamer, but just like
It's
good.
definitely not a tube screamer.
No, like kind of a different flavor for
It's its
something
own
in
thing.
front.
I'd almost put it as like it's just can't really compare it to
It's its
anything.
own thing. Yeah.
Right.
Because I know, it's just like I would always just put it in front of my amp as a boost to kind of like get that. If I was playing something heavier, I guess I would use that, which is
a little more mid-cut.
commonly
all
used.
that
Yeah.
stuff. Remember blowing tubes because I didn't understand impedance. Yes, yeah, we learn these things as we go. Plumes is their tube screamer plus other models. That's what I thought. Yeah, it has like the different stuff in it. Yeah, I remember like maybe on a Gear and Beer, like over a year ago, Derek and I just went literally and found every overdrive pedal that we had in his office. We're like, we're gonna try all of these today, and we tried that one. That was when we were like still really reaching for topics, and we're like, okay, let's just get a bunch of stuff and shoot it out.
Throw it on the pedal board.
Yeah, exactly. I remember, liking the plumes. I just didn't remember specifically what it did. They had another one too that I really liked, but any of the Earthquaker stuff is super, super top tier. So yeah, who has a G8? And if you do, what do you think of it? How are you using it? What method are you using it with? Are you using it just in the front of your amp? Are you going to use it to gate specific pedals? Are you going to use the 4-cable method? Who here's got G8s? And if you do, feel free to ask us any questions too. Like as always, we have stuff that we'll go over. But if anyone wants to hear or have anything explained, like let us know. But I think one of the things. I very much want one. Still the noise gate. Like, nice, dude. Yeah, it is certainly transparent, and I think like looking back on the release of the G8, like a lot of the intent was to make obviously a gate that works for metal players because that is the bulk of who is going to actually want to use a gate.
Yeah.
Like even if you can use it for low gain settings, like the bulk of players who will seek one out is a high gain player.
For sure.
So that was obviously the goal, but we did want to make something that translated well when backing off as well, and as you were saying, like not a huge tone suck.
No.
And you're primarily someone who you like high gain tones, but most of what you do doesn't necessarily revolve around that. What would you like when you first tried the G8? What were your thoughts versus like other gates that you would try? I guess.
I think with the gate, I found it was extremely easy to kind of like dial in.
Yeah.
Wasn't much kind of fooling around with it, and like for me, what I would be using it mainly for what I do, like we were speaking earlier in terms of it could be a bad, I guess, wired up venue or like bad electricity.
Right. It's not always about having like a super tight cutoff in your tone. Like there are other variables that you want to eliminate as well.
Yeah, especially with like my telly, like that would be the first thing. And I was watching when we first released it, I was checking out like Sean's video he did, and it's kind of like it's almost kind of along the same reasonings of why he would use it.
Right.
And I kind of I don't want to steal like the words out of his mouth, but essentially it came down to I never really used one. Like I stopped playing. I can't say I stopped playing metal.
I think there was certainly a stigma amongst like non-metal players where it's like, no, it's a metal thing. You don't need that.
No,
like,
100%.
I'll get a noisy old amp and just let her. And it's like there was the stigma that if you had that, it would somehow subdue. Like, and I don't think they were designed to do otherwise. But like a lot of stuff that was available would hinder a bit of that like magic that you would get from just a noisy old shitty amp.
Yeah, I think the way we're going with this, I'm hoping that we can kind of push it out to other. Other genres where it's like it becomes a utility, not just like a pedal. Like a utility piece.
Or like Paul at Stereo Bus Recording, who you've met Paul E.
Yeah.
And Paul brought it into his studio too, and he was right away like, yeah, man, like I'm going to use that just to kind of tame the noise that I get with some of these old amps, because Paul's got a lot of like really nice vintage gear and stuff. And when you're using old guitars and all that too, like we kind of wanted to make something that was the answer to just that variable with those types of tones that could also be tweaked to be used for the high gain stuff, I guess. So yeah, the response, I think, looking back on it, was great. Like, a lot of the content that we had seen about it wasn't just metal.
Yeah.
And we were still, there was the other thing too. It's like, well, you know, if we go too far in the direction of trying to make it utility between genres, will the metal guys not have an interest in it? But they seem to really enjoy it still. And yeah, we've, I think, moved a lot more of them than we thought we were going to. So thanks everyone for helping us with that. Yeah, I think the community was definitely a big part of the release on this one. And that was kind of what we had aimed to do a little bit differently too, was actually, you know, before we had it come out, get it out to artists and have people have tried them on the road, you know, before we had them out with people on the road before we announced that it existed. So we really wanted to actually get some feedback in those settings before sending it out, so we could really let people know what to expect and kind of get artists more involved. And, like, you know, everyone here who's watching too, like, you know, there was some people that we kind of sent out stuff to, and I think the community feedback and input is something that we do really value when we're releasing that stuff, for sure.
Of course.
Like, obviously we like, I don't want to say, like, we're not going to, like, stick to our guns and just, like, because we think something is better, not listen, you know. Like, and I think with the release of this, kind of getting that community feedback was very helpful. It's
huge.
So thanks a lot for everyone for being a part of the whole release of it. It definitely, you know, went, I think, a lot better than we, not like we expected it to go poorly, but as you said, it's a utility pedal.
It is.
Like, and we're a company who had kind of defined ourselves on high, like, at first high gain tone, then it kind of spread to, like, tone, you know, and with something like that, there's always, like, the worry of, like, well, it's not, you know, it's not really in the same field as our other products, so we didn't know. Like, we thought it would do well, but it definitely, did great. So thanks everyone, anyone who picked one up, and we really appreciate all your feedback on it. Let's hear some Papa Roach. Luke.
Oh, man.
Aren't you in the shop right now? Get back to work.
No, Luke went home, dude.
Luke went home? Okay, I was going to say, weren't you just out there? I will come discipline you. Go.
I'll go yell at him real quick.
So Luke is Derek's nephew, and he works in the shop, and I saw him here like 20 minutes ago. So it's like, get back to your bench. Tyler, gee, it's my favorite noise gate. Thanks, man. Yeah, so did you just go to the 4-cable method right away? Because that is certainly my my favorite way to run it. So yeah, I guess we could kind of explain that. Like, I feel like most of the artists that we've sent them out to have preferred that, because, like, a lot of guys are, if they're using the Gates Live, like, they're using probably big old noisy amp rigs and, like, you know, stereo rigs and stuff like that. Like, I know Hoogie got them out with, like, the Shinedown guys and some of the Hatebreed guys too, and that was what they had preferred, because they're using, like, you know, rectos and, like,
the 4-cable.
Yeah, right. Being able to kind of gate the preamp in an environment where you're not necessarily certain of what your amp's going to be receiving in terms of even power and stuff like that too, is huge.
Oh, of course. For
sure. Like, when you have a big rack, you can't stop me. No, I can't get up from the leaf right now. Having like something, is my mic just cutting out there?
It seemed fine for me.
Oh, weird. Okay, just make it. Never mind. Accessible, that you can kind of, like, use to tame that, as opposed to kind of having to, like, trace through a rig to, like, eliminate what the noisy variable might be.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
you know,
when you first showed me, like, our setup this morning.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're gonna go for cable method. And it's like interesting, because when I've used the gate, it was always just like serious, like, right through my pedals, and that's it.
Just on your guitar signal.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
When you played it this morning, like my jaw just dropped. It's like, that is probably going to be the only way I can use this now. Like, just like right, it hits your pedals, your preamp, like everything. It's just like a total cleanup. Yep. Like, big time.
And just in terms of, like, even the effects sounding cleaner, like, you know.
That too. That's I noticed that too.
It's crazy. And Dan, like, really, really wanted to push the 4-cable.
Yep.
Just because, like, I guess there are a couple other gate, like the Fortin has a similar thing, and, like, the Boss has a similar thing too. But just with the controls and everything here, and being able to dial it back for lower gain tones, and being able to kind of gate the internal part of a noisy amp is very helpful. So that was kind of what he wanted to push. So in terms of what's on it, I mean, I feel like most people who are here will know, but we will take a look at it anyways. Do you have the pedal cam? Is it
pedal
working?
cam?
Pedal cam, or is it turned around right now?
Which pedal board?
Mine, please, so I can point at stuff. I could reach over and point at Brad's, but I would, like, be going really far. If not, it's all good. But I just want to, so quickly, I guess the main questions we get are, on the face of it, what each input is doing, and mainly what the difference between the hold and the release is. So there's no attack control. It's another question that we get fairly often on it, and that's because I forget how Dan explained it, but basically the way the input is wired, there's no loss in the attack. So it's just your normal attack and input. Yeah. So the threshold is kind of like your just gain level, basically, like overall input gate level.
Yep.
Basically, hold is sustain, and then release actually is how quickly it cuts off, as opposed to the sustain. So that actually allows you to be able to like have more sustain in your tone, but have a quick cutoff, or vice versa. Like you can have very little sustain, but still have it not just be super hard. So that, I guess, those knobs are really what allow you to be able to manipulate it the way you want for rolling it off. Because it isn't just like a master like sustain control. And then, the send return, obviously, you can use in a number of different ways. So right now what I have going on basically is the guitar goes to the volume pedal first, volume pedal's in front of the G8. And then because we're going 4-cable, everything basically goes into the G8 and splits after that. It's actually at the beginning of my chain. And we usually do recommend running it at the beginning of the chain. Obviously, it depends on what you're trying to do. Like some people might prefer to run it after certain overdrive pedals. Just to reduce noise in that way. That's when the sidechain routing becomes beneficial, because you can just gate certain pedals that way.
Yep.
But the way I have it going right now is the 4-cable method. So basically, guitar goes into the volume pedal goes to the guitar input, and then rather than sending the guitar like front of amp signal from the output, you actually send it from the effects send out to your pedals in front. And what you do by splitting it, as opposed to just sidechaining it, is it basically runs through the front of your signal chain, through your effects loop as well. So it's basically going through the amp and through your chain in front, as opposed to just like as a side chain loop. Like if you just did like send return through your effects loop, you could do that. It would gate the effects loop, but it wouldn't gate the preamp.
No.
Right. So like by switching them that way, it actually crosses the routing, and you actually get it through the preamp and the effects loop and the front of your amp. So basically, guitar in, send goes out to the pedals in front and then back to the amp. The effects send comes into the return on the pedal, and then out the output through the pedals in the loop, and then back into the return. So that way, basically, you're routing the signal path in front of your amp, the preamp in your amp, and everything in the effects loop.
Just everything.
Basically everything. Yeah.
You want clean?
Which sounds complex, like when you were looking at it in the manual. And I think the way the manual explains it very in depth, but looking at it, when you think about it too much, it's like, does it make sense to cross them like that? Right. So once I actually like sat it down and laid it out, it's like, okay, no, this actually does make quite a bit of sense. So yeah, that's the 4-cable method. The sidechain method essentially is, as we were talking about, just like creating a loop within that. So like you could basically send it just through your overdrive pedals and back. Or if you wanted to gate just your effects loop pedals, you could just go, send through the loop and back. But again, that wouldn't go through the preamp. So that's the cross routing basically hits all points. And then the last method is literally just in, out through the guitar chain, back out, which is what I was doing for years. And it worked fine. It worked fine, but like I don't think there were a lot of gates that were available that allowed this type of routing. Yeah, like this definitely. Like I think the NS2, but even then the NS2 is a noise suppressor. It's not a gate.
Not a gate.
It just squishes everything. And I did notice quite a bit of tone suck with that, especially on lower gain tones. It was really hard to
like a limiter
get it to
almost.
work. Yeah. So that's basically what everything does. I mean, we can kind of walk through how it sounds like for you, like when you were tweaking it, like what. I guess when you sit down to kind of play, what's your kind of default go-to sound, like just for like a all-in-one type sound, and how would you approach dialing a G8 for something like that?
If that's, I can switch over to my, I guess my telly.
Yeah, do whatever you want, man. Like for sure. Like, I think we can kind of
situation.
go through some different sounds because like we both come from very different fields of playing, so I think we'll have different approaches. Brad's also wired up in 4-cable, but. We can kind of step through like dialing it for some different tones. And again, if anyone wants to hear anything, let us know, please, and we'll absolutely show you. Tyler, for leads, longer hold and release will sound very smooth. Yep, yeah, exactly. You won't get as much choke out of it that way. And sorry, I saw Terry, you were using the gate in the amp as well, and I actually am using both as well right now too, just because it's like. Oh, it just went out there. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
I got to do that.
That's crazy.
Anyways, it's super tight. The amp, also the gate in the Mark III, is voiced around the G8, or I guess the G8 rather was voiced off of the gate that came in the Mark III, just with more controls on it. I saw a couple people had asked about that. It is the same general circuit in the amp as in the pedal. So tight. Yeah, man. Yeah. And the gate in the amp kind of lies, like, with the Generator 120. If you were just running the G8 in front and use the gate in the amp, you'd kind of get a similar effect as running it in 4K, but with an amp that doesn't have that gate built in. So, yeah, with the Tele, different animal. And you got the Klon going on here, too.
Yeah, that's kind of like the perfect example of
Noise. Yeah, just like old pedals.
It's not too bad, actually, right now.
No.
It's kind of proving me wrong right now. But as soon as
Oh, yeah. I can still hear that. Are you on the clean channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't realize how much noise is actually there until you don't hear any of it anymore.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean,
That was the whole tagline with it, the whole hear the silence thing. It's like you don't know that it's not there until it's not there.
And
And
that's the
then
thing
when you
with-
hear it again, it's like, oh,
It's like, how did you not
that
hear
was
that in the first
definitely
time?
there. Like, how
when you
did
get
I
into
not
something
hear
like that, yeah, it's kind of like
exactly.
ear opening, I guess. I guess. But I guess playing with in-ears too, you tend to hear those things much more.
Yeah.
It's just obviously it's going straight to your brain. You
Yeah.
can literally pick up anything that way.
Sorry, Rami, you shouldn't run into any grounding loops if you have clean power. No, any issues you'd run into with that would be just because of the power itself. You should be able to run that no problem with most amps.
Kind of like if I'm gonna go for like a bluesy.
So yeah, I guess go without it first. How you would go and like. See, now I can hear that. Like I wouldn't have even noticed like that noise before.
So like without it. So
It's not a lot.
No.
Like, it's not unbearable. But now there's nothing. And do you notice like a ton of difference in like response, I guess? Or like
I noticed a little bit there.
yeah.
I wouldn't say it was like a little more choked up. It just kind of like it definitely cut a little more than I wanted to.
Yeah.
I remember what Sean was setting it as.
Yeah.
He actually had his thresh like right all the way down.
You know what's funny though is with it down like that, like turn it off again. Like, you can still hear the noise more. Hit the fresh now.
Oh, like turn it on?
No, yeah. Like even with it at zero,
It's still, like,
gets
cutting
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how you would set it, right? Like I guess you just kind of like find the lowest level that you can have without that noise floor.
Oh yeah.
And set it for that. So like, yeah, that's, oh man, some of the settings that Sean dials and stuff is like not how I would ever do it, but you like can't argue with it because his ear is so intuitive. Like,
Yeah,
it's
like,
crazy.
You'll never replicate it.
No,
Like it's
but like once he explains his approaches to like how he reached that tone, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that makes a ton of sense.
pretty
you know,
much.
like, yeah. But yeah, that's a good example of that.
Like it's I think for this, I think I like that thresh right at the bottom.
Yeah. It almost sounds like, man, that one almost sounded like Boston for a second.
Yeah.
That's like fun. That's like, yeah, Boston greatest hits album right there. In the little Rocktron, I guess the greatest hits is a bunch of albums, but oh, power conditioner, cool. Yeah, you'd be all good there, Remy. Yeah, if you're running everything off the power conditioner, you'll have no issues at all. MK2, someone inherently noisy, even causing descent back. G8's really helped us. Awesome. Yeah, glad to hear that, man. It definitely helps with noisy amps. Like when we plugged into Derek's Recto and he had never used it for the first time, he was just like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, this can be this quiet? Yeah.
It's
That's
like,
crazy with the threshold.
even on
though.
idle, like
So I'd be curious, like, turn the hold and release up and kind of see like how high can you go on it before you'll notice like a little bit of a lag in it.
so that's with the
And you can roll off like on your volume there too, eh? There you go.
yeah, it's
Pretty much there.
it's not taking away from it,
Yeah.
but it's literally cutting it out.
Yeah.
Rather that's on.
That's crazy, man. Like as Bo was saying, like I never would have heard that noise until it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And now that it's gone, it's, you know. Yeah. So I wonder if you went to the second channel, would that same setting still work? Let's see. Let's just kind of go.
Like actual channel, like red channel?
No. Oh, no. Great. Oh, let's not go there with those pickups yet. Well, that's still not too bad. And that's the gate off or on?
That's off.
Jeez.
Like it's
Dude,
just,
but the threshold is 0
Come
too.
on.
So
The threshold's
I
0.
will say I did expect to have to push it more than that.
and that's on. My volume's on there.
Yeah. You hear that little like
Just
cut at the end? Yeah, exactly. So try pulling the
that'd be the
release.
Release.
Yeah.
Maybe the
Actually, no,
threshold.
Try the release
actually.
first. Yeah, try that first. We'll try.
It's a bit better. It's
Yep.
not as like sucking in.
Let's see if we can get it.
Both down.
Yeah, the whole thing would make a big
Pinpoint that
difference.
frequency.
That's almost super nice right
There
there.
you go,
like,
man. Yeah, that's exactly it. Like it's finding that balance of like, it's gonna cut off, but it's not gonna cut off so much that I feel like I'm being choked.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But hold that a chord then and see like how long.
Like it's
It'll still go, man. Yeah, and then but as soon as you let go, it'll go.
there it is. So I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's kind of like pretty ideal.
Try the G with 4. Tony, I haven't tried it with an original 5150 yet. We have a 90s. I think this is a block letter one. Yeah, we have a block letter one here that we should try that with because those things are just
The what?
the block letter 5150.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the noisiest amp ever. Well, not ever, but yeah, we should try it with that. Actually, I'd be really curious. Nice watch. Thank you. My wife gave me this watch. I ran my G8 through my FX loop and I basically had this at the threshold to max. It does actually seem right, yeah. And we did make it like once you get it's not necessarily like a linear 1 to 10 scale. Like once you get around 8, 9, 10, it does start to gate quite a bit harder. And the intention with that was just to make it so that the roll off would work for people who did want like the lower gain stuff. So
Right.
yeah, no, it's not, it seems excessive, but it's not unusual. Like once you get into the 8, 9 region, it'll start to gate pretty hard. Like harder incrementally. So no problem there. And it is, you know, always kind of just go by your ears too. If it sounds good, then it sounds good. But I have found with a lot of the really noisy stuff, pinning the threshold on it has worked pretty well without sucking a lot of tone. So no, you're all good there. Can you guys do a video on hooking it up and using the 2-notes captor? Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, we've been meaning to do some more in-depth like videos on maybe like I guess like a torpedo instructional or like FAQ type thing.
Yeah.
Have you messed around a lot with? I guess you took the Captor X home the other day and messed around with your 740.
I toured with the Torpedo Live for like
Yeah. Did you go in and mess around a
6,
lot
7
in
years?
Torpedo, or did you just use a lot of like? I'm someone who like if I find a good
No.
stock sound, I'll probably just use it.
no, dude.
Like,
Well, being an audio engineer, like I went in depth, like beyond, and I dialed it in as like
yeah.
with wearing in ears, wearing just kind of the monitors in the studio.
Yeah.
I had like literally tried every different way, and I just dialed it in. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I go down that rabbit hole, which sucks at the same time.
It's fun, but like, yeah, for sure. You would probably want to put the wah, I'd imagine, before the gate. I think. I don't think it would really matter too much in that case. 52-year-old who just started learning guitar. Is GA good to go for a PV 5150? Absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
I'd recommend running it in the 4-cable method in the 5150 for sure. Yeah.
100%.
It's still a bit confusing to me. I'd like to get a recording with it. For sure, man. Yeah, we can definitely help you out with that. If you get Torpedo Remote, it's pretty easy just to kind of scroll through and at least see what's in there and mess around. Like if you don't save over it, you can kind of just click and drag. There's also there's simulation mode and arcade mode.
Yeah.
And one of them, I forget which is which, but one of them is a more simplified version with more simple controls.
That always confused me. I don't know why.
That's the difference, basically. Is like one of them is more in depth and one of them is more
So which one was which? The
Arcade mode is your simpler one.
Arcade mode's
Yes.
the simple one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bo, I would try starting on arcade mode if you want to go through there, and that would maybe help out a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a feature for a while, and then one of my buddies like, "What's the difference?" I was like, "What?" And then I went and looked. I was like, "Oh, this is actually sweet." Like for someone who's just getting into it, or like,
Yeah.
or you just don't want to dig into the more depth stuff, and you just have like, again, like I was just saying, I kind of like to hit it and forget it type thing. So, yeah.
Sometimes that's the best way to do things, though, man. Then you're not like me after, and you spend hours and hours and days of trying to get like the holy grail tone
Yeah, totally.
on modelers and such.
Cool.
That's tight.
What?
Just how like tight that is.
Like, yeah, I will say the bridge, like, get that. It's just so even. But I will say, like, I've just been using the gate in the amp for the last while.
Right.
Just because I was like, it's in there. It can take
Yeah.
up less room on my board. But hooking this up and trying it for the first time today, really, really, really clarified to me that I should just have it on my board so that I can
Right.
run it in front. Because, like, let me turn the gate off on the amp here. Like, this is literally what I'm getting.
Clear!
Yeah, clear. So, it cleaned up everything in front of, like, my pedal signal as well. And I didn't realize how much noise I was getting there. Like, and even being able to go through, like, it was super, super hard. And then I can turn back. Like, I like balancing it so the gate on the back is, like, barely on. But
See, that's ridiculous.
it's so tight. Yeah.
That is extremely tight, dude.
But not even like the stop starting, like just the amount of stuff it cleaned up in the tone itself. It's like kind of what you were saying.
It's very articulate.
yeah. And it cleans up a lot of like just even the excess like whooshing you would get in a chord ringing out, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Will a gate clean up? My goodness, your screech. Yes, it will. Hey Sam, maybe you could do me a favor and quick. So I started reading that thinking that it was a question, and now I feel like an asshole for reading it. Thank you, Tony. You're very nice.
Mr. Mitch. Mitch Hints in the house.
Mitch, what's up,
My boy.
buddies?
Yeah.
You guys play music together?
Oh, we go way back. He's honestly one of the best front of house guys.
Oh yeah.
Worked out.
Yeah, that's
Worked
right.
He's an
Name.
incredible front of house guy.
I was gonna say I don't know if I've worked with you, Mitch, but I feel like I do.
and
recognize
even
your
a greater friend.
name. Oh, that's what counts.
Brownie points? No.
I'm gonna actually grab this and just kind of experiment too, because like I feel like the trick with this is finding a setting that can work for like a rolled off tone and for a high gain tone. Like
To find that happy medium.
yeah, because you're not going to be like tweaking it as much through your set or whatever. So let's see. It's kind of what the balance is, I guess. So we can both kind of just like dial in a tone that I
Yeah.
think you could use for anything. Brad, let's get those kill switch squeals going. You were doing a bunch of those before.
Well, okay.
Does anybody else just want to do pinch harmonics all day sometimes?
That's my life, man.
Yeah. You're in standard with your telly?
Oh,
Tuning break, guys. Brad, you're too kind. Brad, you are a very nice guy.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. I know.
While we're here, who hung out, who was here last week for the stream with Ben Bruce, and who would like to have Ben back to do another stream here where I think we were talking about maybe having him come back and we can do one where we trade some licks and stuff, but it was a lot of fun having Ben here, and I think we were talking about kind of the G8 launch. We wanted to get artists involved, and having Hoogie on board to do that was very helpful. But yeah, we're definitely looking to, now that shows hopefully, at least in the States, are starting to happen, but we're trying to get stuff out to as many people and kind of get more road experience on all the new stuff and link up with as many artists that we can have on and do these types of things. Who would you like to have on a Gear and Beer? If there's anyone that you would like us to try to reach out to, or any Rev artists that you would want to hang out with, and ask questions. Let us know, because we want everyone's feedback. Why is this not going?
I was kind of in and out of the stream last week. I'm a big hockey guy, so
Oh yeah.
I had the stream on my phone and watching. This is embarrassing, but I was watching the Leafs game last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually not embarrassed to be a Leafs fan because they're kicking ass right now. So
Let's go, buddy.
Eat it.
For this one little stretch.
yeah, just as one.
Just because you said that, they're gonna biff it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I just totally jinxed it super hard.
Well, I didn't need to jinx it. It was gonna crash and burn anyways. But
Well, that's play. Calm down, okay?
listen, bud. Calm down.
That's playoff. They're not in playoffs yet. But no, it was kind of like I was telling my spouse Jamie at home. It was kind of like for me it felt like a surreal moment that we had, like Ben on the stream, because
yeah.
if I go back to like my metalcore days, it's so funny because I was doing metalcore and country.
I feel like
bands.
that's the path. That's how it goes.
Yeah, and it's
You know.
seeing him on that stream and him become a part of Rev.
Yeah.
I was like, it made me, because I've been a huge fan of asking Alexandria. Whew.
She's
For a
running
while.
Time talking today. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was pretty damn awesome, and
Yeah.
to, like, for me to be a part of this and everything, it's just like, it was like overwhelming almost, man. And Jim's
It's
like,
well, man. That's why we do it. Like, and that's kind of like why it's really cool to be able to get artist feedback on like any of our stuff. Like, not as like this guy tried it. It's like, man, like we look up to so many of these players, and to have them like
exactly
be interested in our stuff and support, like, let alone supporting it, is like just such a cool feeling, and that's why we do it. So Jeff Loomis would be a nice addition to the stream. Man, it'd be great to get Jeff out here again.
That'd be
We had
sick.
Jeff out here, I forget when we did Criminals on Ice. Rummy. Nice.
oh, come on now.
What was I going to say? Loomis, when did we do the G20 shoot?
Don't start.
That would have been, I guess, when the G20 came out, so a couple years ago. But Jeff is like the nicest dude ever, man. And he just rips so hard. Yeah. Were you ever an Evermore fan?
Arch Enemy.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's
he's in
Enemy.
Arch Enemy. I
Yeah.
don't know if he writes music. Maybe he does, but he like Nevermore was like his longtime band, and like
I've never listened to them before. I don't think. Maybe I have.
so many riffs.
I can't imagine.
So many riffs. Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, he's the best, and he's killer. He actually, I believe, is doing a spot on Scott's new album,
yeah.
Scott's solo album, which is sweet. They hit it off when Jeff was here, and yeah, I know he's super stoked about that. I'm stoked to hear it. So yeah, cool. Yeah, I grabbed this because this guitar has. I mean, these are fairly hot pickups, but this guitar does the split coil thing, and as much as I love Les Pauls, they do not.
No.
So yeah. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we go for very like different kind of mid-range characters, but like that's kind of like the. It's like, yeah, just that type of tone, and I think like, yeah, historically Gates have kind of gotten rid of a little bit of that sparkle, like.
Yeah.
Kind of got to find a balance of what would work, and I think like the threshold's cranked pretty high on that. So let's see.
You got it timed out.
Yeah, like I don't know. I find even with the hold and release, like pulled back a lot. Like I guess that's usually what I'll do is just check and see like, is it gonna die within a reasonable amount of time?
That's pretty nice right there.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'll do it actually.
Dude, there's something with your pick attack, man. I've never.
Oh, I don't know.
It's that there's a. Bo knows what I mean, man. There's like a throaty it's really attacking.
Just next level, dude. Yeah.
Like I can't. I can't take that. I can't. Like listen what mine sounds like.
Oh, dude, you're faking it. Come on. Let's just look at her to fake everything.
Yeah.
But again, though, like it's not gating me when I'm doing that. Like a little bit
A
there.
little bit. Liar.
Like it'll around there it'll start to go, but then, I will say, like, the clean channel on the MK3 is pretty quiet. I don't know if I would need it there. But, oh, it wasn't even the split thing there. There you go. Now we'll see if it gets noisy. Like, there's not any really noise in that sound, but I'm not noticing any difference in how it feels. So
Yeah.
it's not something that I would worry about, like, turning off.
I feel like if you, I mean, you can hear it when it's kind of like in idle mode, right? It's kind of.
I don't know what that. I feel like that's just the power in this room that's doing that grounding noise, but
I feel it. The way it's set up right now, it kind of takes. I wouldn't say it takes away from like almost the beginning of your finger pulls.
right. This is off. This is on. Doesn't feel any different to me. Like, there's no. That doesn't feel like it, doesn't feel any different than if I just plugged right into the amp.
Right.
Ah.
Is it off?
That was off.
Yeah.
And now this is on.
A bit of like cleanliness for sure.
Yeah, but no, like, dynamic loss.
No, 100% no. It's strange to say it's like revealing. It's a bit more revealing.
Yeah,
with
no,
it
it
on.
is, because it's cleaning up a lot of, like, just sort of hide behind there because there's more that's popping out.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
It's like Buddy said, his calluses screech.
These pickups, Will, are, I think, bare knuckle Blackhawks, which are very high output. Like, I'm surprised that they back off this much. But in the middle setting, especially, for like, now you're getting a little bit more of that hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's probably where I would sit with it. Like, threshold just over noon, with the hold and release fairly tight, because, like, still got a decent sustain.
That's a pretty good happy medium.
I would say so.
In there.
Like, it's and not enough that the threshold is, like, sucking, but enough that when I do want to do,
Right.
like you can hear how hot these pickups are with that tone for sure. Yeah, man. Sweet. Yeah, that's about where I'd sit.
Oh, Sam.
You guys are funny.
Dude, after like work, I go home and I'm like, turn on my stuff. I'm like, nah.
I don't.
I'm like, oh.
Dude, you know what's funny? You know
I've
what's
tried to do that
funny?
so many times.
I never ever do that at home.
Really?
Never.
Because you knew you fucking
I
get a
never
rise
do
out of us.
any of
That's
these.
how.
I never make any of these sounds at home. Like when I sit down at home, it's all just like stupid. Like
She's
how many?
like-
It's like how many stupid minor 7 chords can I play? You know? Yeah, I don't know. I think there's something about like testing the amps when you're plugging them in and they sound like that. You just want to like.
God.
Yeah. You just want to make it sound pissed off.
It's just like,
Like I never will use that for anything anymore, but it just sounds great.
it's pure throat.
Yeah, it's got so much more fullness in there. I will say the Duncans, like I like a lot of the Duncan pickups a lot. Like, yeah,
Duncans?
Yeah,
I've only tried their JBs.
it's a classic pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a good for everything pickup. How would like what would you kind of like? I guess finding a sound that would work for you. Like, how would you kind of prefer to dial it? Like, you're thinking something like that, like with the thresh way back. Even for like, how does that respond
Even
to the
for
high gain
this,
channel?
like,
Yeah.
I'm on like aggression blue,
Mm-hmm.
contour on, fat on, and I actually have the bright on too.
Yeah.
Gain's probably about 1030, 11ish.
Yeah.
And man, like that's even,
Yeah.
that's for me, that's like, I can't ask for.
I feel like you require a little bit more of the, like, obviously that riff is not that, but like you require a little bit more of that dynamic response than I do,
Yeah.
like for that type of stuff.
I guess, if I am playing I guess the modern country stuff, like,
Yeah, totally. That stuff requires more dynamic. Like, I feel like even with the variety of tones that I'll use for that type of gig, like there's different levels of gain, but
Yeah.
a lot of it is still pretty like pushed, you know?
Yeah, there's one song in particular that, I mean, whenever we did this song, my metal side would come out. It's just the riff is like,
Yeah.
and I'd always throw a squeal in there somewhere. Is there a reverb on my? Is there a reverb on the Captor X by chance? Like it's
Skyline.
it's off.
What? Oh, weird. Is there a verb on the IR? Maybe. Maybe on that IR. Yeah.
Probably.
I know, like this on here. This one. Man, I've never actually played that with
Dude.
stereo. What? That's
Dude,
sick.
that's
I didn't
super
realize
metal.
that's what that was. I only ever listened to that on like when I'm testing in mono.
Dude, that's so sick.
I think that's their double tracker or whatever
That's the
they
twin
call
tracker.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't mean to do that, but that sounds really
That's
cool.
ridiculous.
Oh, dude, I want to just go home and mess around with
Yeah,
that.
man, that's awesome.
Sam's a preset one kind of guy, and that's it.
Yeah, not the twin tracker guy. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm going to mess around with that now. It sounds
No.
good. I was looking for just the verb. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like a room, just a small room.
Yeah, or like, yeah. It's really interesting. That was wild in the headphones. Dave, your amp's almost ready. You'll be able to do that. So yeah, sorry for anyone who just missed that. That's the twin tracker. So that's not it. But when you're running stereo on the two notes, you can do this, and I believe it's kind of just like like even a couple milliseconds of delay on it, and
It sounds like
stereo. Dude, that just sounds like I could just write like an '80s like power.
You
anthem.
literally took the words out of my mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. And standard now. Yeah,
That'd be sick with Mama, I'm coming home solo. That I have to.
you have to do it now. That's exactly the tone.
I can't play it exactly, but
That's the twin tracker in the two notes cab sim on the amp. Yeah.
man,
That's exactly it, dude. Oh, here, wait. Dude, that's so good. That's awesome.
dude.
That's perfect. I don't hear you play those riffs enough. Your right hand's right on though, dude. Like I feel like a lot of country dudes have like the super solid right hand
Really?
chops. Yeah.
Oh man.
It's basically like 80s in a box. Yeah, that's so sick.
I love that.
Yeah. Man, like make guitar tones huge again.
What's that?
Make guitar tones huge. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what happened to all this? Like, what happened to just like layers and layers of chorus?
Wait a second. There's I gotta do one riff, man.
Just like exponential amounts of reverb and chorus on everything. Let's go.
Let's do it. I love that.
Literally that, dude.
I had to.
Like, when did this become cooler than this? You know, like. Play Battery. You know Battery? Oh, is that No More Tears?
No more.
That's so sick.
Dude, I think it's actually Mama and Coming Home where it's like.
There's Derek. What's up? You've reached the point where we've gotten to the 80s tones in the evening.
Yeah, literally that chorus in Mama and Coming Home, he literally puts 4 squeals like in a row. Like, it goes. It's like, who does that besides Zach Wilde himself? Dude, whatever you have set up, that's like...
Dude, okay, so literally... Wow, we really digressed here.
I feel like I should have...
All that this is the twin tracker setting on this with verb and delay, and the Cool Cat chorus, man, is what makes it. Derek got me this in the States, and it is... I use chorus for one thing, and this does that one thing.
It's
so
literally...
well. Like, yeah, man.
What's that?
Like,
Bark at the Moon. Right?
Yeah.
It's just that 80s hair metal, dude. I
Man,
feel like I should have a monitor.
I'm just like so hype on that tone now.
Like, I just want to have a foot
like,
on a monitor and just like
leg
squeal
up, like got the
for
fan
a
blowing
whole...
on you.
Yeah.
I will say the chorus. Okay, give me. I want to turn on this now. Oh wait, we're crossing.
Uh-oh.
I will say the chorus definitely gives it more of like a sear. Oh, dude.
Oh. Oh. Dude.
That's it, man. I love it.
Oh, see? You can literally probably play any
80s machine, dude.
Yeah.
More squeals. Derek, we were talking about, I don't know if you ever saw the Kill Switch DVD, but that's what inspired this. Like, we were talking about the Kill Switch Engage DVD before this, where it literally is every pause where there should be just like a pause is.
What is that? Holy Diver?
Oh, I'll do the harmony here. You can play the main riff.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm going home. You guys are done. That's it.
Dude, when you connect like harmonized guitars with a certain pattern, there's something that just gives me like the absolute fucking shivers with that. Like,
and it's funny because like I haven't just sat and like wrote like a classic minor third harmony on something for so long, but like it just sounds so good.
Just that
Dude, I will say, and this is like, I feel like you do harmonics like most similarly than I do. Like in terms of the way you approach doing squeals and stuff like that, like we do it the same way, probably closer than most people I've seen. Just where it's like, just bend it as hard as you can.
literally, yeah, dude.
You know, like that's it. But like the fact that like it's 100% kill switch.
I'm probably
Zach
like
Wild.
bending up to the fifth
man.
here, like.
Okay, people are probably like, "Okay, we get it, guys. You know, harmonics." Stovey's drunk with those camera transitions. I don't think so. I think he's been pretty slow tonight. Yeah, cool, man. I didn't. Yeah, sorry. We totally digressed, and like I didn't.
What are we here for again?
Gate. No, the running the threshold that low, like you're not really getting much noise. Like
No.
like I would have expected it to not trail. Like I'm kind of
Like,
or I would have expected it to not gate hard enough set that way. But like I'm realizing from you doing that the hold and release really is going to control that. Like even if I have this on just to eliminate a little bit of that noise. I'm going to switch off of 80s mode now because I'm going to just only do that for the rest of the
I need to take you seriously now.
That's crazy, dude. Like that adds that much. Like that's just the. Hey Mitch, how you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in.
It's like where I have the gate set for me.
Yep.
I honestly, that's probably exactly where I'd leave it for both country,
Yeah.
new country,
Yeah.
and if I'm playing hard rock.
Finding
or-
a setting that can work for both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that now that this is on here, like this would work for, if I was using a D20 rig or if I was using a 120 rig or if I just had to go to a backline gig and like,
Literally.
I mean the effects loop thing, not, I feel like most backline amps are going to have a loop, but yeah, this like that would be something that I would definitely bring to a gig where I was potentially going to have to use a backline amp.
Like I said, I would easily turn it into like a utility thing where it's like I'm not going to leave without it.
Yeah.
It's going to find a spot in my case.
Yeah.
No matter where.
Yeah, just bring it. I'm ready to go. Derek isn't in tonight. Play some sweet Rush riffs. Oh man, I was kind of playing Closer to the Heart the other day.
Closer to the heart.
Because I watched the trailer. I'm going through Trailer Park Boys again.
Oh,
for like the
I got to
10th
do that
time.
again.
And it was the episode where they kidnap Alex Lifeson. And then,
yeah.
dude, he makes so many cameos. Derek, I know you don't like Rush, but Alex Lifeson is sick because even if you don't like him from Rush, when he plays the prostitute in Trailer Park Boys, do you remember that?
Man,
He makes a cameo in 2 different movies as a prostitute. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's hilarious. But yeah, they kidnap him and he teaches Bubbles the riffs like
Right.
I guess after they become friends. And like Mike Smith's actually like a good guitar player.
Right.
Like the guy who plays Bubbles, so they're
Yep.
like jamming on the riffs and stuff. And yeah, that was
crazy.
kind of what like made me appreciate Rush. So scratch that.
Nirvana,
Play some
please.
Wham. Play some Nirvana. Do you know Nirvana?
I don't. I'm not a fan of Nirvana. I know that's probably like sacrilegious here.
No, I'm not
But,
really either. I mean, I don't think you can deny the impact that they had.
Oh, 100%. I'm not
Like,
going to take that away.
And for better or for worse, like I know some people like they killed whatever, but it's like, well, a whole bunch of great music came out of the 90s. Like, it definitely was not it was probably a necessary transition. at
I
that
mean,
point.
Nirvana also gave us Dave Grohl, so I'm a big Dave Grohl fan.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't
He's
think
an
you can
innovator.
hate on Dave Grohl for sure. That was my classic rock riff. Did I show you that? Like the faux classic rock riff.
Has a extreme.
That's exactly what I was going for. It's like Nuno Bencourt. When I think of like any. Actually, you know what? Screw that. We're going back to this.
Yeah, you have to.
Derek isn't here to do this. I forget what it was. I forgot what the transition was. It was some cool run that was better. Anyways, that's the main riff. Just A minor.
Yeah.
Give her a rep.
Now I'm going to go home and listen to like extreme.
I'm going home to
dude,
sell my guitars.
I'll sell you mine after.
Dude, Nuno's, I say this every time we get into this conversation, but just like the tone, just the attitude and the playing, like everything. It was like it was like Eddie if it was like funky.
Yes.
You know?
I don't know, man. I know we're straying from what we're talking about, but it's like we can't not talk about, Nuno Betancourt.
Oh
Like,
no, or like, well, dude,
it's-
we can talk about whatever, man. Like,
You want squeals, man? Like,
Oh, and that's another thing too. Like I always say this too. Like Get the Funk Out was like literally one of the first songs that I remember my dad showing me. Like when I showed an interest in guitar, he's like, all right, you got to check this dude out. And I was like,
that whole album?
I was like 5. I'm like, okay, like, you know, let's put on this Extreme album with like the naked girl on it.
Yeah.
You know,
What was that album?
And it was literally called Porno Graffiti.
Porno Graffiti.
Yeah, which I realized as an adult was kind of like a whole parody on like,
Yeah.
you know, America at that time. Like, you know,
There's like the Decadent Dance is like the first track, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
whatever the riff is. Fucking actually do him a disgrace by pretending to play that riff. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and what I was gonna say is going back as an adult, the nail polish. Yeah,
what's
man,
wrong
that
with
was
nail
cool.
polish?
That was when it was. Boss, like, no.
I'm not having it, Derek. I see
really
a camera coming to me.
Yeah.
Let's show this off for a minute. Yeah,
The nail polish.
it looks like garbage right now.
So it's
That's a Nuno thing right there.
I feel like he would do that, and then it would just get like.
Yeah, they're like something ridiculous, man.
And I'm just playing a bunch of staccato stuff. He makes it sound cool. So it's,
Ooh. I like that octave in there.
yeah, that's what it is. But it's like kind of like shuffled, and like you barely like play.
Dude, that is
It's like a Nuno riff.
one of those. That's a lick where it's freaking easy, but
Yeah.
when you try and learn it, it's like, I quit. I can't do it for some reason. There's like little like nuances in there that I can't grasp onto for some reason.
It's like that with any riff. Like it's a feel thing, man.
But it's literally in that box. Like it's literally right there.
Yeah,
Everything's right there. It doesn't
Yeah.
move from.
yeah, yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason that most people that are famous only play on these 4 frets. 'Cause that's
What's
all you
after
need to
that?
do.
I don't know, man.
Rest in peace. Good after the. Yeah, man. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Oops, I'm not in standard.
Are you ever nice? Were you ever a Paul Gilbert fan, like from that era, like Mr. Big, like
No.
Green Tinted '60s Mine and all that?
I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I just never really,
Never got into it,
never dipped into it.
dude. All right, let's smash the like, homies. There he is. What is up, Mr. Kyle Carriage?
The one
How's it
and
going?
only.
The one and only. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, like Lean Into It era, Mr. Big, or like the album, like around that era, it was another one that I remember hearing as a kid, where I went back as an adult and was like, oh no, this is still crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was one of those things that aged well.
I find, like, for me, some of the greatest musicians, in my opinion, obviously everyone has an opinion, but I find like the '80s hair metal guys, the guitar players, stupid good musicians.
Yeah.
And bluegrass musicians.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You want pure shred with nothing to hide behind?
Yeah.
A bluegrass musician will do that for you. That's where I want to sell. Like, I want to sell my fiddle, my acoustic, my electric, everything out the window. Like,
I will
it's
say
like,
the first time we went to, well, maybe not the first time, but the first time I went to Summer Nam, might have been the first time, but Ronnie Ladebrock came with us to
Ronnie.
Summer Nam, and he was like, man, this guy Johnny Highland is like, he's like one of my favorite guitar players, and like Ronnie's like, I knew Ronnie was like into bluegrass stuff, but he was like a shredder, and I kind of assumed that he took, like, if you've ever watched Ronnie play, his picking is like, it's like flat picked, right? Like he's so precise, and I always assumed that was like his influence from like those types of shredders.
Yep.
And then I went and watched Johnny Highland play, and I was like, oh, like I at the time had not heard of him, and like I know he's a very big name, but like I'm not someone who is big into that scene. But like after watching him, I was just like, okay,
It's
like I understand this now.
It's different,
like,
man. Johnny Highland is different.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I didn't see him in Nashville, but there's just like this one video. I forget what song it is. I'm just gonna kill this story because I can't remember the song.
it's okay. The song,
that song, the way his solo is just like a classic, like just a classic country beat, right?
Yeah.
And what he did was just like, why am I even trying to play guitar now? Like, it's just.
I don't know. You see that, then it inspires you. And like Ronnie said the same thing, and I was like, well, man, like you're you're kind of doing that. Like, you know, like I feel like it's very easy when you see someone that really inspires you to lose track of like what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I think everyone always has that, like, oh, you know, I'm never going to be able to do that. But, you know,
Comfort zone.
so then when did I move to Winnipeg? 2004. Yeah. Yeah, 2004.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it was right around when I turned 12, like a week and a bit before I turned 12. So yeah, 2004. Yeah.
Sausage vendors?
What's up, Poo Ninja? I was like, this comment doesn't make sense, and I was like, oh, it's the Poo Ninja. What's up, dude? How's it going?
Sausage fingers, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, Derek, sorry, 2004 would have been when I moved here. Yeah. And I remember actually I went to see Aerosmith with my dad shortly after I moved here in Cheap Trick. And Rick Nielsen had like the freaking like 7-neck guitar or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know, like with the checkers on it and like
The classic
and that would have been
checkered,
one of
yeah.
the last concerts in the Winnipeg Arena, I think. Which was like the only time I ever went to that arena. Like the old arena by the Bomber
I guess you
Stadium.
only moved out here in 04.
Yeah, like they would have opened Bell MTS like a couple years after I moved here. Or
Right.
MTS at the time.
I
Now
see
it's
my last concert that was Metallica and Godsmack.
Godsmack.
That's the last time I
Band I
seen.
haven't thought about in a while. Crazy.
Yeah.
At the arena?
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. 2000. That makes sense.
Yeah.
2003, 4. So plug over in the late 90s at Mother's Music. Oh, is that when Barry Player went up and jammed with him and just like dusted everyone?
What?
You remember hearing that? Because Barry did a couple things. Yeah, that's what Derek was saying with Barry Player. So I took a couple lessons with Barry. You know who Barry is?
No.
He's I mean, he's an unbelievable, like he could have been touring with Paul Gilbert and those guys. Like he is that good.
Wow.
And his sense of, like, I took some lessons with him. I took 3 lessons with him maybe, and that was easily the most I've ever like just been like, oh man,
Right.
like I think I get this. Like
Yeah.
like the way he would explain stuff and like everything. But
He was an actual teacher.
yeah, like an amazing teacher. But Barry was like buddies with Paul Gilbert, and I'm not sure Derek. Maybe this is how he became friends with him, but like Barry got picked to like come up and jam with Paul Gilbert, and he was just like, "What is going on here?"
Actually.
Like, yeah, just like I would have loved to see that. That's crazy. Even thinking about that still being Mothers. Like, seems like it's been L&M for a while now. I miss Mothers. That was a good shop.
Mothers?
Mothers
Yeah.
Music. Yeah, I remember going there with my dad when I was younger.
That's where us
Yeah.
like metal players went because they had like the LTDs.
They had all the ESPs and like
ESPs
the
and
5150s and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
The Jacksons.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that would have been probably with Ibanez. Yeah, there's Barry. Yeah, Barry's awesome. I'm not sure if he's still teaching at Quest or if he's just teaching privately, but if you're in Winnipeg,
He's literally almost-
Barry's the best. Yeah.
He's almost playing on the neck pickup. So it's like
He's making his own notes. Doesn't matter. Yeah, that'd be crazy, man. Man, get him and my dad in here together. Just to
Whoa.
get them to just like educate everyone.
I'd pay for a ticket for that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Forgot. Sorry, guys. It's
No,
over.
sorry,
this is
dude.
this
We're
is
gonna
the
do a
only
whole
this is
show
the
on
only
just-
tone ever now.
Yeah. That even sounds good like that, man.
Yeah, man. Everything needs chorus now. 2022. It's the year of the chorus.
We're bringing it back, man.
Everything. You know what? Let's do it this way too.
That's kind of hurting my ears, man. I don't know what.
I love it.
What's it like Soundgarden or something?
Oh yeah. That's a vibe and a half.
That's a really cool sounding chorus, man.
Someone copied. Someone kind of 97 pig squeals, I think. We should check that out.
I think we can beat that.
97 squeals, is that how we're going to end this? It's like 99 bottles of beer on the wall. So it's like play the whole song and at the end have to do a squeal until the end of the song.
Purely squeals, yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, if anyone has opposing instructor, oh, a GIT, that's how they meant. Okay, sweet. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I forgot Barry did the GIT thing. Anyways, we did. We did talk a lot about the G8. We did digress a little bit from the G8 at the end there. So if anyone has any questions or anything you wanted to hear, that if you tuned in later on and missed some of the stuff that we dove into with the pedal, let us know, and we can definitely show you some tones. Any other questions pertaining to anything else at all, rev related? What's Brad's favorite snack? I don't know. Anything.
My favorite snack?
What's your favorite snack?
Cheerios.
I do like Cheerios, man.
I think we talked about this. Yeah.
Here's a
Cheerios
confession.
And like, what was it? Cheerios and like multigrain bread or something that they made you eat.
Oh, what
Is that what you're just talking about?
Yeah, it was like multigrain Cheerios and like just bland toast with nothing on it. It's like
Great.
the worst time
It's
of
the
my life.
Firefest meal. Make sure to throw in the one thing of cheese. Incubus, yeah, that totally sounds like Incubus, actually. Also, like
Sounds so
the
cool.
major 7 chord.
It's so like underwater.
Well, that's cool.
It sounds like Mario, man.
It's like when you get squished. Nerdy's like, that's the noise when you're in Mario Kart when you get squished by the thwomp.
Oh yeah.
Derek, what are you doing to me? You're not here and now. I'm making these sounds. I feel like it just gets passed down. Yeah. Anyways, if there's anything that anyone does want to hear, please let us know and we can
Get on with it. I think
demonstrate
he
that
really
for you.
wants to know what my favorite snack is.
Yeah. What is your favorite snack?
I'm a big fan of mini wheats with a bit of dark chocolate chips inside, like
Ooh.
in the bowl.
That sounds real good.
It's so good, man.
That sounds really good. I want that.
That was
now.
my like on the road. That was my continental breakfast choice every morning. Was like either
Yeah.
Harvest Crunch or mini wheats with little dark chocolate chips in my cereal in the morning.
Nice. Just bring your little Chippets bag at your gym.
Costco Chippets, man. Did we do a hard gate?
I think so. Yeah, that was just like the super ultra gent man 2000 gate. Yeah, like hard gate is just where it's like
Oh God. It becomes so percussive too, though. Like I feel.
it does. Like that's when like the hard gate becomes beneficial because you can get all these little like inflections and like they have like even that like if I have the gate off, like there's still some decay to that.
Yeah.
Where when I do that, there's not. So it's like.
My hands will never move that fast, man. I
yeah,
can't
you-
even. I can't even do that. I can't even.
Oh, I don't know. It's literally nonsense, dude. As I was saying, like I never go home and just like I'm just gonna chug on this all day. You know, it's more or less just like I don't know when we're jamming and like trying all this stuff. Like I find generally when I'm testing like the tone of something, I don't want to just sit and play like a bunch of crazy riffs where I'm not really gonna take in what the sound is. And like when I'm doing that, like and I can hear when I do this, it's like with our amps at least, I can tell if the amp's working based off how the attack sounds.
Of course,
like,
yeah.
it's supposed to push like
Yeah.
crazy in the mids, right? So like I know that if it's doing this, it's like when you hear me in the room just sitting there by myself doing this all day, it's not just because I like doing it.
Doom hands, man. Throw your doom hands in the air.
Yeah.
Missing Eastveld bends. Is that like? Oh, that's the Eastveld bend.
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't have
man.
enough pedals on yet, though.
He only has 5.
I can't bring myself to do that, man.
He can't do it properly. Yeah. Hey Josh, how's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in. We're just saying if anyone has any if you have any questions about the G8 or anything, let us know, dude. We'd love to answer any questions and show you some stuff if you'd like to hear it. What's your favorite kill switch riff?
There's a song I can't really think of right now. I almost want to pull up my phone and find out what it's called.
Which album?
What's after End of Heartache?
Daylight Dies.
Daylight Dies.
Which is probably my favorite, not gonna lie.
It is.
Yeah, I know that End of Heartache. Okay, Live or Just Breathing, Legacy album. can't beat the songwriting and like what it was at the time. That being said, I really think they fine-tuned what they were doing with Daylight Dies quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like more so than End of Heartache.
I do miss Mr. Jones. Not gonna lie, Mr. Howard Jones.
No, Tim was referring to like the big like the boomer bends, double stops.
Boomer bends. Oh, what is that song called? It's gonna bother me. Can someone pull up the album? Like, there's a song.
Off
it goes-
of As Daylight Dies.
It goes.
Oh, this is Absolution.
This is Absolution.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Yes. My God. Guys.
For me, it's the acoustic part in that song, like where there's like the big like the
Yes.
like the I forget what the chords are, but just like the huge power chords of like the acoustic layers underneath it is just like that's the Adam D special
Yeah,
right
man.
there. Yeah, 100%.
We got Sam Jacobs here, guys. Okay.
No.
I'm gonna say another song, and he's like, for sure, and he's like, just starts playing it right away.
Oh no, dude! I told you, like I had no friends and sat in my bedroom and learned every Killswitch record. So don't even
man.
start me. Killswitch and Protest the Hero, dude. Let's go. You can still do the or whatever it is from
man.
Blood. The
Oh.
it's like that's all I would do. Look at all heavy respite thing screams are in it. Hey man, you know what? I get both sides of that. Like I definitely there was a period of time where I was like really into the screaming thing, and now I'm old. Like
Yeah.
I do still enjoy it, but like more selectively where it works. You know.
When people that didn't listen to that, they're like, "Oh, you listen to that screamo stuff?
Why are they yelling so loud?
It's screamo." It's like, what? No, it's metal, dude. It's like metalcore. It's not screamo. That screamo stuff.
Yeah, scream. I like to mix. Anyways, yeah, we're going a little long here, guys. So yeah, if anyone, well, not really a little long, but we're going. So, last call. If anyone has anything
I'm
you
gonna
would
try
like to
this
hear,
thresh.
what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try this thresh higher on this one.
Take this thing, dude. This thing has like, oh, you know what I do want to do here. I brought the 7th string.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't touch. I brought my 070 tonight just because I figured some people might want to hear some heavy chugs.
Yeah, let's see it.
Just quickly.
Oh,
Let's see. Oh, I thought you were gonna plug that in.
Oh
was
no,
gonna
I
say
was
when
like,
tug on it. Oh, I didn't just give it to you to hold on to while I play guitar.
dude,
No, I thought
do that any
you were
day.
gonna. You said you were gonna pin the thresh on it, so I was like, oh, take this thing. This thing is like super high output.
well, yeah, I'll definitely take it then.
Yeah. Dan Electro Cool Cat again. Also chug a beer. Nice. Let's go. That's a good. I feel like what song was that I was trying to play? You know what I was doing? Manny knows.
Oh, that song.
What? It is Estelle.
It's like American Boy.
American Boy. That's it. That's what it is. American Boy. Thanks, Ed. It's like, so I know what it is.
Oh,
I know, right? It's hot.
jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back to country music, guys.
Yeah, you'll actually make some money. Be good. Guys, yeah. It does the same thing in this mode. For anyone who wanted to hear some downtune stuff. I remember how to play it. enough chugging. More squeals? More squeals? Okay. This is awesome. Never played a guitar hot enough to get squeals. The thick strings. Yeah. Yeah, I will say having the lighter strings, you can like really honk on them a bit more and like get a little bit more sustain. All right, cool.
I've had a lot of people ask me like to like squeal on a telly. Like I've gotten bugged about that so much. It's like you can't squeal on telly. It's like
you get enough gain on anything, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it on an acoustic guitar.
I know
It doesn't sound the same.
Wow,
I mean, you'll get
prove
more,
it
you'll get
right
more
now.
harmonic feedback out of an electric guitar.
on an acoustic. Oh yeah.
Okay. What are you saying? Harmonized squeals. Alex is typing.
I'll take the low. You need to take the higher one.
Are we really gonna do that? Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, anyone who had any questions learned something about this or about the G8. But if you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email, or just come hang out with us on the stream. And we are here every Wednesday. We can answer your questions, hang out, and play a bunch of squeals like we're gonna do right now.
It has to be on Holy Diver. Like that's the only way we're gonna.
Do you want to do that again? We'll end it off on some Holy Diver.
Yeah.
Are you in D? All right, let's go. Thanks, guys. I'll play the harmony. Have a good night. We'll see you next week. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a great night. Enjoy some pigs. See you later.